monsters, but let's go ahead and jump right into it. They're shuffled up. They're ready to go. It's top 32, 250th YCS Los Angeles. Jesse Kotton against David Ferrer. And here comes the all-important die roll. I know David's going to want to win this one. He probably knows what his opponent is on.
7.
7, the average. That's what you're more than likely going to roll. Will it also be a 7 from Jesse?
It is.
It is. It's the
good
most...
call. Good call.
I'm just calling the odds here. And now, the 8 or a 9?
I believe that was an 8. I believe that was a 2. And Jesse with an 8. Well, they're continuing with the die roll.
6 and 1. 7s again. Will he break it? Is it going to be another 7 or 11? Doubles roll again, though, but no, it's only 4. And now he's not, this isn't Monopoly, so now he's going to have to lose that die roll. And luckily for David, this is his opportunity right here. If he can get the Tetsudo or Rot Newman, it could prove difficult for Jesse to clear.
Yes. But there are other ways to put monsters on the field. There is always Kashtira Birth, be able to normal summon out the monster so you can still perhaps get your way out. But you're not just answering to the one little turtle. We have other cards that will interact and perhaps remove the normal summon that you just put up.
Yeah, maybe focus down that Birth, but it looks like David's going to start things off with Nimble Beaver to summon a Nimble Angler from the deck to the field. You usually want to leave your other copies of Nimble Beaver so you can special summon them from the deck when you use Sprite's Friend. Now he has Sprite Red, so he's going to special summon that from his hand since he controls a level 2 monster.
And we're going to see the blue.
An Ultimate Sprite Blue.
You can see how it pops right in front of the camera.
It really does. I really like how it like fractures and it kind of has like the layers spinning around it. It looks
so
awesome.
I love that one.
Oh, it looks like he did draw Dupe Frog. Not something you want to draw because you want to summon it from your deck, but totally awesome in defense mode.
Correct.
So even though it has 0 attack, it's like it has a lot more.
Now, there are multiple cards here that could answer, but the thing that's really getting in the way now is that totally awesome.
Indeed. He does have, he has pretty much all the options he has are pretty good. The Pressure Planet can get him to the right side if he wants. The Scareclaw here can attack the Tetsudo and negate the effect. Book of Moon can force out the totally awesome, but then you're giving your opponent a Book of Moon, but he is going to go for Book of Moon.
Perhaps he has other ways to answer his own Book of Moon if he has to give it to the other side.
But we do see he's playing Pot of Prosperity and Pot of Desires in the same deck, which is pretty interesting to see.
I mean, those two are kind of counterintuitive. Once you activate one, you can't use the other.
Yeah, but you just have to depend. You just want to have one of those cards in your hand to make sure you're able to get your strategy online. So he's going to use the totally awesome effect to send the Dupe Frog from his hand to negate Book of Moon.
And they're going to take.
Yep. So now David has a Book of Moon set face down. Won't be able to activate it this turn, but definitely be useful.
Oh, wow. Book of Eclipse have now been activated. I think this is one of the only ones I've seen at this entire event. And that's going to turn off basically every monster on the field.
I'm surprised he used the Dupe Frog from hand. He could tribute off the totally awesome, add back a Nimble Beaver, still have another monster in his hand.
Yeah, it is a bit interesting choice in terms of where we're going to pay that cost.
Reaper Duck is just stay off face up on the field, though, but not a very threatening dinosaur when he has nothing else protecting him.
Now that double cross is not going to be useful in this instance because there's no zone to summon to.
He also had to use the double cross to bring back the Tetsudo.
That's right, that's gone.
But he could still have Sprite Smashers, maybe a Sprite Starter. We know one of them is Book of Moon that he'll use later on. Now Fenrir is special summoned, and that's going to activate the effect to add Kashtira Rise Heart.
Fenrir is not particularly the best opening monster. Usually you want to see a card like Unicorn. Unicorn maybe get into your spells. But we have a Rise Heart. Rise Heart can special summon out onto the field. And the level likely will change if we can get the effect off. And the effect luckily has a cost to banish a Kashtira card from the deck.
See what Jesse decides to banish. Thinking about banishing Kashtira Big Bang. Yeah, Book of Moon, Book of Eclipse. See, this is what I was talking about. He could have. I guess it wouldn't matter if he negated the Pot of Prosperity or the Book of Moon, but still just an excellent opening here.
Like, it did give him the second card, right? The second card, so that it's not just you're just not going to be stuck under one card. You can at least get your chance to use that Book of Eclipse and make sure it resolves.
He's going to at least take half damage, but I mean, with so many monsters Jesse's going to have to find a way to clear this board. Maybe with something like Zeus.
I mean, if we get into the end phase, we run into a big problem.
Yeah, don't want to let Sprite draw a ton of cards, that's for sure.
I think we're going to go for a Zeus play here.
Yep, going into Diabolus the Mind Hacker.
Well, that's going to answer for that Book of Moon that was taken away. And that's going to simplify the entire game save if we manage to get that far.
Yeah, and David's sitting on 0 cards in hand.
But there is going to be one issue. That Totally Awesome is probably going to activate in the graveyard.
Once it finally gets to go to the graveyard. Attacks over Reproducus.
Half damage. So 28. I don't remember the attack stat line for the Reproducus.
I think it's 800, 1200. It's low.
That'll be 1,000. Well, still some damage.
He doesn't spend too much time on the field. Usually tripping off for like a red or a carrot to negate something, but not having the carrot was huge here. If he had carrot instead of red in his opening hand, this game would have been completely different. So he's going to banish the beaver out of his graveyard face down.
That's good. That's really good.
Yeah, gives him less options for this Totally Awesome. Now he's going to use the Diabolus effect to take a peek into David's extra deck and take a card out.
I mean, you could take a card away like Gigantic Sprite if there's only 2 copies. I mean, 1 copy.
Mosquito, maybe?
Mosquito would be also really, really good.
It's a bit of a scary one when your opponent has maybe an opportunity to come back and attack, but I think you are right. It does look like Gigantic is going to be the target.
There's a lot of Link monsters from what was revealed here, and trying to kind of counter Zeus is not going to be an easy option here. There's a Djinn Buster still left, a Ninja Mosquito, and a Mannequin Cat. Well, there's also a Beanie Mars, so it's still full. But what are we going to look towards here? I think there's no other option, but you probably have to Zeus.
It has to be Zeus. I mean, he's going to leave him on nothing unless we still don't know what his 1 card is. It could be Infinite Impermanence, which would be huge, or a Book of Eclipse. No, Book of Eclipse wouldn't do the same thing. He needs Imperm.
Well, the one thing about using...
It's just going to resolve, and they're all gone, just like that. David's losing every card. He's just going to have that Totally Awesome effect activate when it's into the graveyard, though. It's just a Gamma Burst.
Well, that's unfortunate. That's better going second. But we are going to get a beaver back, so there was a beaver still in the graveyard. And there's also Nimble Anglers, which you can summon back as well.
Yep, down but not quite out. Zeus is a great option for board breaking when you're going second. If you're able to... Book of Eclipse into Zeus is pretty strong combo.
There is a set card. It's better to at least put a card down rather than let your opponent feel safe that, hey, there's just a Zeus, no material. I'm just basically treating it as a 3,000 attack monster.
Indeed, and now he draws for the turn. Can't... Is that a Sprite?
That's a blue, I think.
Blue? No response to Beaver. Oh, no.
Perhaps
he does. The Gigantic is gone, but he still has the Zeus option. If he can go into Zeus, clear the board, and then have another loaded effect for Zeus. But Sprite Blue, an excellent top deck.
I think the scariest line here probably would be the Ninja Mosquito. That's a lot of damage. Every attack could inflict 3,000 damage back to Jesse.
Yeah, you have to attack first with the Mosquito to put the Hallucinogen counter, and then 1, 2, 3, and burn, and next thing you know, you're done. And Zeus with 3,000 attack just takes those 3, as you mentioned. And now here comes Jet.
Jet effect?
Maybe regretting, if he kept that Gamma Burst in hand, it would have been helpful too, but I think you're right about the Mosquito being able to be enough here. Now he's going to start her. It would be cool if Jesse's holding Infinite Impermanence for the Mosquito or something, or like a Book of Eclipse, a Book of Moon, just as soon as he goes for the Mosquito combo.
Yes.
Just to attack the Mosquito, or before he attacks the Mosquito, just puts it face down. That would be cool. Oh, but he does start her for a carrot.
Yeah, putting the carrot up is going to mitigate the back row right there. We are seeing the Ninja. You flashed it just now. There it is, the number 2 Ninja Mosquito.
Yeah, it's a really cool card. So yeah, when it declares, any monster declares an attack, it's going to put a Hallucinogen counter on that monster, and then anytime you attack, you can inflict the attack of the monster with a Hallucinogen counter to the opponent's life points directly.
So I believe the first attack does have to be...
the Mosquito.
Oh, we have a Forbidden Lance?
So he's going to reduce... I don't know what he's lancing.
He's lancing his own Zeus.
Okay.
This makes it unaffected by spells and traps. That also lowers its attack.
Okay, so it's just lowering the attack to hopefully he won't be able to...
I don't think he's going to take enough damage for this. Unless it's the original attack. So he's going to attack, put the counter on. So that's
Gonna
this
negate the
particular.
effect.
Yeah, that's going to negate the effect. This also going to not take any damage here because Mosquito Ninja can't take battle damage when it battles. So attack. Both players are going to be taking damage on these attacks.
Yep,
One's battle, one's effect.
Yep, he's still going to eat that damage from the attack. It doesn't stop the attack or anything, but it will also inflict the damage. You are correct.
Now, is it the original attack?
I'm going to pull this. I'm whipping out Yu-Gi-Oh! Neuron right now. Neuron is a great app. If you ever have it, you can do a card search for the whole database. You can build your own decks. Definitely suggest downloading Yu-Gi-Oh! Neuron. It's free, and it has pretty much everything you need to know about the Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG.
Well, if I see all the damage coming through, and it is going to be...
Nope, it is the current attack.
It is the current
equal to the attack of one monster with the counter.
What a crucial Forbidden Lance.
Yeah, it's a little dangerous going for the Mosquito combo sometimes. Instead, he could have just maybe gone for like a regular like Zeus play, and then like you add the starter off the jet, go for Zeus, and then starter afterwards, and then come up with some sort of something. But it's kind of hard to expect Forbidden Lance. But it could have been Forbidden Lance, Book of Moon, Book of Eclipse. It could have been any number of one of those cards.
And there was an opportunity to negate, but I don't think there would be enough monsters.
He needed another monster.
Very well planned.
Smart stuff from Jesse Kotton.
Just one card holding on.
Bold move, Kotton. We'll have to see if it pays off for him.
But he is still controlling a monster on the field, so it's going to make it very difficult for the Kashtira monster to just jump out from the hand.
Indeed.
And there is a banished birth.
No, but here comes Soul Sweeper. He might be clearing the way for Jesse to summon a Kashtira monster from the hand. I don't know how much damage he took attacking into Zeus or how many times he attacked into the Zeus. Couldn't really hear what was happening there.
There was at least one from the Mosquito. It might have been another one from the blue.
So, David just sitting on this carrot.
Now, Mosquito has another effect that forces all monsters that can attack
to attack.
And that would also lead into more of a hallucination counter.
I think this is the first time I've ever seen the Ninja Shadow Mosquito survive a turn, and then now you have to worry about that effect even.
Yeah.
Normally the game's over once you see it touch down. But if Jesse needs, the only thing he has is like a spell card to get started, David's in a good shape.
I'm wondering if Jesse is going to find a way to capitalize on his earlier investment of banishing the Kashtira birth. But you have to basically play through that carrot first. And carrot, because the only other tribute options are extra deck monster, it would destroy it. Oh,
Summons Kashtira Ogre.
Effective Ogre. Ogre is going to be able to add a Kashtira trap card.
More than likely Kashtira Preparations.
It is preparations. So we have life points total right now at 5,800 for Jesse and 4,100 for David.
So both getting lower. Doesn't look like Jesse has any way to get to another monster just yet before he's going to go to... He can't do that. He has to attack the Mosquito.
I believe he's forced to attack, but I'm not sure if he's forced to attack the Mosquito.
I thought he had to attack the Mosquito. Let me pull it up. Oh, monster... Oh, no, it doesn't have to attack the Mosquito. It just has to attack in general. It's all in all-out attack orders. So not as strong as I was hoping for, but definitely taking down this carrot. Like I said, this is the first time I've ever seen Mosquito survive a turn.
Oh, there's a Pot of Desires.
Yep, had to get rid of that carrot before he's able to draw into some more cards.
So we just potted, previous turn, Pot of Prosperity, current turn, Pot of Desires. They're not actually conflicting with each other.
I wonder if he activated the effect. It's when an attack is declared. He could have put a hallucinogen counter on the Ogre.
I did not see a material being detached.
Yeah, so I don't think he did use the effect there.
I mean, that is a pretty easy effect to overlook.
All right, so he looks like he did draw into Kashtira Birth here. Birth's going to let him summon from his graveyard or banished.
Oh, this is going to lead to a full field, and we might even get to see a Rise Heart put onto the field.
Yep, Jesse taking this game back in control on the backs of that Forbidden Lance, catching David off guard completely.
It was just one card.
It didn't even stop any Speller Trap cards. It just lowered Zeus's attack, and that's all it took.
I think these players at this level, they always think like 5 steps ahead.
Or how at least to get the best value out of your cards.
And they just math it all out already in the head. This is the amount of damage I'm going to take. I'm going to live.
Looks like he grabbed Kashtira Theosis here off the Unicorn.
Or Fenrir grabbed the Unicorn. I was right. And you got the normal summon?
Oh, yeah,
that's right.
Kashtira Birth lets you normal summon level 7 monsters. And then that added Theosis.
And with no cards in David's hand, oh, we're safe. We're safe from cards like Nibiru and all those other things. I'm wondering if we are actually going to see some zones being locked out.
Yeah, I'm not sure why David's not even conceding this game. I think he's more than welcome to. He's sitting on no cards. He's going to pretty much lose everything. It's looking tough for him.
It's very tough. Now, one thing that has to go right now, that's got to be that Ninja Mosquito. I believe during the end phase, we're also going to get our Zeus back.
Oh, yeah, the Zeus got Soul Sweepered away.
Yeah,
so he definitely has a Zeus that's on his way back at the end of this turn.
The soul is returning now.
Oh, it looks like he's overlaying for Dark Arm, the Dragon of Annihilation.
Oh, we're definitely destroying everything. I believe Obini Maru does not need to stay on the field for the card to return. I believe
No.
It's
like Doom Lord. Destiny Hero Doom Lord. I always say that, and I'm like, wait, does anyone even know what Destiny Hero Doom Lord is anymore? Like,
oh, I do.
Yeah, I know you do.
Oh, we're going to see the detach, and don't forget to get the banish. We're going to be banishing a Rise Heart, and there's a potential to actually add back that Rise Heart because Dark Arm does banish a card for everything that it destroys, and you have to banish something from your graveyard. It's a great way to actually trigger some of your own effects like Theosis, and even Big Bang sometimes.
That's kind of cool. All right, he's going to use Dark Armed again to take down the Mosquito. And then looks like you're right. Banishing Theosis to add back Rise Heart.
Rise Heart's going to summon out. And the level is just about to change to 7. We're going to banish a card for cost. The card that has been banished is the Unicorn, so that Birth can probably bring it back from either places. There's 2 Unicorns already.
1, 2, 3 level 7s. There is no Shangra Ira effect that was activated, so he's going to hard make Kashtira a Rise Heart.
And there's still 2 cards.
Oh, if that's a card you're going to draw, that's the one. I don't know if it's going to be helpful, but it's the best card in his deck, probably.
Yeah, there it is. There's the Zeus. So Zeus has to come back. I mean, right now...
There's no Gigantic in his extra, but if you can find... The starter cuts you off from Zeus.
You also don't have Mosquito Ninja. We're going to see the turn pass.
You must be under the impression you can't concede, which you can. You absolutely can concede in a feature match.
And he's going to take a hit.
Yep, going to take the damage, and Jesse's going to bounce back game 1. And now he's one game away from moving on to the top 16. He could become a 5-time YCS champion this weekend.
That is incredible. What a title to have. What a record, and just amazing game right there.
Yeah, piloted really well from Jesse. I mean, that's the degree of good players. They always can look at their hands, no matter how bad they are, or maybe they're not as normal. It's not, oh, I didn't draw a Unicorn, I got the full combo in turn 1, but you're able to work with what you have and get the best value out of the cards that you're dealt.
And sometimes it's just not about making the flashiest play. Oh, I don't have the combo, I don't want to play through it. You get dealt your hand, and Jesse, playing from the back pedal, just making a full comeback, not losing the turn after, and just making a full return, and absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it was a cool game. I mean, like, David probably felt like he was down a little bit after the Zeus thing happened, and then he was like, oh wait, now I have a chance to win with Mosquito, and didn't really calculate what Jesse could have face down. I mean, chances are it's not going to be a bluff. Like, if it was a Kashtira card, he would have used it proactively on his turn. 99% of the time, it's going to be something good. I would have been worried about, even an Infinite Impermanence would have completely cut that Ninja Mosquito play off. Book of Moon would have been the same. So it's tough to expect that the OTK for the 3 attacks to go through, even into just one face-down spell or trap card.
Oh, that's true. I think there might have been a little tunnel vision, like when you're at the home stretch. Like if all these cards land, I'm gonna win it.
So go for it.
Go for it, and sometimes it just doesn't pay off. Oh, look at that stare from Jesse just now.
This is normal for him.
He's very much used to this.
You know, I usually look the same way David there does when I'm like in between games, very focused. I'm not really like, you don't want to worry, but you want to think about the game. Could I have done something differently? Was there a different way I could have gone about it? Now that I'm side decked, is this the way I want to go? But you know, you think so Jesse went first that game, right? Or no, David went first. David went first, and then Jesse had the Book of Moon, Book of Eclipse into Zeus to wipe the board. So now David is going to have a chance to go first yet again.
But this time with the side.
With the side. Is there a lot of cards that you want? What are the best cards to side in against Kashtira when you're going first?
Going first, that's a hard one. I usually want to flip down their monster, not let them get into a Rise Heart. But usually going first, just stop them from getting the 3 monsters onto the field is quite crucial, but also finding ways to block off cards like Zeus. Whatever that just happened in this particular game.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy when like you just lost a certain way. You're gonna like, well, I'm gonna look out for that and make sure that doesn't happen again.
It's a bit hard because a lot of the cards that go against Kashtira, it's mainly because Kashtira is going first, so a lot of the cards are mainly aimed towards hitting them when you have to go second.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I mean, I would look for maybe like something like anti-spell, I guess. They have ways to deal with anti-spell pretty easily. Just being able to draw one of their monsters, so they have Fenrir on their own, like it can deal with anti-spell quite easily. But we'll have to see what David sided in. It's game number 2 of our top 32 match. If Jesse wins this, he'll be moving on to top 16.
One step closer to becoming a 5-time YCS champion.
Indeed. See, he has the Yusei right behind him. Kind of lines up perfectly with his head, and Yuma on the other side with David.
And they are drawing their opening hand right now.
Looks like you see a little bit of Playmaker also.
Oh, yeah.
I love the background for the feature match stage is beautiful. All right, going to lead things off with the Dark Beckoning Beast. This is a level 2 engine we've seen used in a lot of sprite decks in the past. Not so much recently, but definitely a solid way to get to a gigantic sprite or a sprite sprint.
This is a little reminiscent of a card on the FNL list, Ronin Toden. A little bit in terms of just wanting a level 2 monster every turn. That opening of the Spirit Gates is what's going to allow that to happen. But we do have an additional normal summon of a fiend monster. But before we do that, we're going to special summon out a Sprite Red just for a little bit of protection against monster effects. And we're going to see if we're going to be able to activate the Spirit.
Now, I do see that he has double cross in his hand, but doesn't have he has starter and double cross. So if he's able to get to Jet, he can now go for another starter this time. So he'll be able to starter out a carrot to protect his combo, his turtle, Testudo Itat Newman. And if he has the carrot out there, it won't be as easy as it was for Jesse to break that board with the double Book of Moon. Well, Book of Moon and Book of Eclipse.
That's much harder. And we're going to see the starter play right now. And we're going to special summon out a Sprite Blue.
Yep. If you play with electricity, you're going to take a little bit of damage probably, so he's going to have to burn himself for 1100 there. A little shocking, but definitely worth the pain.
I would pay life points for cards any day.
And now it looks like he's going to just straight up add the carrot. Fresh thinking about that Book of Moon, Book of Eclipse, going to want to establish a carrot that's going to be able to negate a spell or trap card.
But if we're going to go for an additional normal summon very soon, it does sound like that's what we're going for. That's why Jesse's picking up and reading the card. And there's the additional summon for the Dark Beckoning Beast.
All right, so you go here for Sprite Sprint. Sprite Sprint is going to send Nimble Angler from the deck to the graveyard. This is the combo. He also has Droll Lock Bird in hand. So this game looking good for David. I thought the last game was looking good for him too, but when you're facing against someone like Jesse Kotton, you can never count him down or out.
So we're going to see the 2 Nimble Beavers summoned onto the field. We're going to try the same strategy again. It didn't work the last time, but we're going to see if this is going to pay off the second time around.
Nimble Beaver overlaying with Sprite Sprint for Gigantic. Gigantic's going to be able to summon Swap Frog from the deck, and then he's going to be able to link this Gigantic and the Dark Beckoning Beast to the graveyard to make Reproducus, which will turn that Nimble Beaver into an Aqua below it. So it's totally awesome. So now he's going to have totally awesome Carrot Red, Double Cross, plus that Droll Lock Bird in hand.
Hold on a second. Is that Sprint? That was just
no, it was Gigantic.
Was it Gigantic?
Yeah.
That's gigantic spin. Okay, that's good. We got ourselves into the totally awesome. We have the double carrot and red.
And this time the Dupe Frog is still in his deck unless he sided it out.
This is quite a monstrous board on the field right now. But breaking a board like this is much like solving a puzzle, one piece at a time if we can get there. And we are activating the Totally Awesome to detach to summon a monster.
Yep, it's going to be the Dupe Frog, so now he won't be able to just attack whatever he wants. He's going to have to attack that Dupe Frog first.
This is very difficult. Even Fenrir won't help you clear everything alone. You're going to need a lot more cards for this. And we are also in the standby phase. We're also going to activate Sprite Double Cross.
The bad news is that he hard drew that double cross. He didn't know that he had it, but you'd have to assume if he's not adding it, he probably does already have it.
This is quite the challenging field.
Dark Ruler no more. Oh, he does have it. I said it just in time.
Great
I was like,
call.
It is the best card against Sprite with no back rows. He has 6 monsters on the field. All their effects are negated. He can't respond to Dark Ruler no more. Following it up with a Pot of Prosperity. I told you, do not count Jesse Kotton down.
He's so good at this game. And one thing about the Pot of Prosperity, it's kind of funny. You're just loading up a different kind of toolbox that's banished because you just want to re-add those monsters and attach them to a Rise Art, giving you protection, giving you destruction. There's lots you can go for here. Now, probably going to go for more on the aggression to see what you can add here. There's a Pot of Desires, probably not very useful right now. There's a Forbidden Lance, which is a pretty solid choice. The Lightning Storm doesn't really get too much value because a lot of monsters are in defense position, mainly killing the Toad.
This is an awful Pot of Prosperity.
Yeah, this thing, I mean, the Dark Ruler's already used.
Yeah, he's definitely probably looking for a Kashtira card or anything that would get him to a Kashtira. He might have it already, but by how long it's taken him to choose, yeah. And he's grabbing another copy of Pot of Prosperity.
That's
rough.
That is rough.
But if he just has something like a single Unicorn or Fenrir, just a way even to get into Zeus would be really helpful.
And a Droll Lock Bird. Oh,
huge.
That's going to be
That is a counter to Dark Ruler no more, because you can still use that monster effect from the hand.
There's still a possibility to generate a lot of monsters on the field, but you need to have open berth to continue to play. You can either Fenrir, you can't add any monsters. Unicorn can't add anything. That's going to be very difficult to push through. I mean, the best card has been played to open the field, but now we got countered by Droll Lock Bird.
No damage, half damage, doesn't matter. Let's see if he has a Kashtira monster.
Is there 3 Kashtira monsters is what I'm wondering.
Fenrir, that's a start, but he's not going to be able to add a monster, thanks to that Droll Lock Bird, but he might be able to clean up the field just a little bit. He can banish the Toad, so he won't be able to add back, but he might want to go after the continuous spell.
He's going to attack
opening of the Spirit Gates.
Into the red, banishing the Totally Awesome. Yep. Remember, the board is negated, so the Dupe Frog does not have to absorb the attack.
And it banishes the Toad so he doesn't get to add anything back. Just one face down back. He was definitely hoping that Pot of Prosperity would have been a little more useful. Sometimes even when you run all the numbers, the math just isn't going to work out for you. And just draws an Ash Blossom. But he has a full board. He has the opening of the Spirit Gates. He can draw that Ash that he just drew to special summon back a Dark Beckoning Beast.
Yep, that's it almost feels like Ronin Totem once again. It feels the same way.
Now, the Testudo Erot Newman effect is back online, so he won't be able to special summon anything with 1800 or more attack unless he gets it off the field.
But I think for a deck like Sprite, it won't hinder a Sprite player as much. There's
Usually
not too much that would really get blocked by this. And we're going to go into a gigantic Sprite. That's the only monster I can think of that would use a Link monster as material.
But can you go into gigantic while you have, even when it comes out at 32? I'm pretty sure you can't.
That is a good question. Maybe you're stuck with the Reprodocus. Maybe you have to use the Dupe Frog, perhaps? That is still an option. But that means your extra monster zone is completely locked out.
True. Maybe you can. Maybe you can use the Reprodocus. Because I guess his original attack is 1600, so he's able to summon it.
Oh, that is a good question.
This is something I was wondering myself. Yeah, I'm not sure how this works. We'll have to see how the judge rules it. Because its original attack is 1600. Yep, looks like it is okay to summon.
going to see a Book of Eclipse. Book of Eclipse is going to be negated by Sprite Carrot. Because of the activation of Sprite Carrot happened, we're going to see Fenrir activate in response. That's going to be in the new chain, and that's going to banish the Gigantic Sprite. That's the second Gigantic Sprite. Now that takes out all the Gigantic Sprites out of the deck now.
Yeah, maybe a misstep here. Yeah, now he's just going to pass back to Jesse.
Somehow Jesse not committing a lot into the board, but getting maximum value every time.
Something like that. Yeah, I'm a little lost. I've got a little lost in this game, but now Jesse's adding, it looks like a unicorn here with Fenrir.
Now he can normal summon, but he can't special summon. There's the birth. There's the birth.
That's perfect to be able to normal summon that unicorn out of the hand. Unicorn's going to be able to activate the effect to add probably a Theosis.
Now, there's no negation from the Carrot. Carrot can only use level 2 for the cost, so
Indeed.
Theosis is here. Theosis is going to maybe have a little bit of a struggle, but Theosis can also be activated to summon a monster like Scareclaw Kashtira because it has 0 attack. That's still an option as long as, but we're going to go into battle phase. Battle phase, we're going to banish the problematic turtle. Testudo is now banished face down. That's going to open the board up completely now. And David F has no cards in his hand. This is going to be almost impossible to come back from. The monsters are just way too large. No more Gigantic Sprites.
Yeah, this is rough.
Ninja Mosquito is also taken out now.
Not going to have a chance to come back with that card as well, thanks to Unicorn.
Where was it? Sorry. Main phase 2.
We're now into main phase 2.
25.
And now you just have to just put the final nail in the coffin, so to speak.
Yep, it's Kashtira Theosis targeting the Unicorn. That's going to spell summon a Kashtira monster with a different attribute from the deck to the field.
I'm going to take a wild guess. It's going to be, yeah, that's going to be the one I was going to guess, but too quick for me. That's going to be a Rise Heart. Rise Heart because the Birth is still live. Birth can revive another monster, no cards in hand, super safe now to perform all sorts of shenanigans here. And also that spirit of the opening of the spirit gates not going to generate much value now because putting a level 2 monster at the cost of your only card is not going to do very much.
Gives you a 0/0. That's not going to get you too far. Now we're going to see an overlay for Shangri-Ira.
Ooh, we are seeing maybe a little bit of zone locking.
And going to banish the Fenrir from the deck with Rise Heart, and that's going to banish the top 3 cards of David's deck face down.
Maybe.
Looks like he would have drawn a Droll Lock Bird. That would have just ended the game right away.
And we are getting a zone locked out. That's going to be the, I guess you can consider it as one of your pendulum zones. Closest to the deck. The spell and trap zone closest to the deck.
Indeed.
And now because the Shangri-Ira did activate, a Rise Heart now can be made with one material.
Yep, and he's going to do that and just overlay on top of Kashtira a Rise Heart. Or sorry, Kashtira a Rise Heart's going to land on top of Kashtira a Rise Heart.
Rise Heart is now armoring up, so to speak.
Indeed, and now Pot of Prosperity is going to banish 3. We saw him add that to his hand last turn.
That is the best timing for Pot of Prosperity. Having the full choice of everything that has already been banished to be reattached, and there's going to be a lot of value added here. Let's see which monster he's going to go for. He's going to be going for an Infinitrack Goliath. That protects any machine monster that it is attached to from being destroyed by card effects.
Yep, just a bonus from Pot of Prosperity. You get to get those monsters from the extra. And if anything bad does happen to your Rise Heart and happens to get sent to the graveyard, you get to use those graveyard effects like Garura or Ntis.
Mm-hmm.
And now it looks like he's going to banish the Theosis, the special summon Scareclaw Kashtira, and then Theosis effect can activate to add back a banished Kashtira.
And a Rise Heart gets to attach another card because the card did get banished once again.
Yep, and there is a Garura he's going to attach.
And that Spirit Gate being on the field makes it very difficult to make a comeback because you can't use cards if you top deck into an Evenly Match. You can't even use that. There's a lot of limitations by leaving a card face up on the field. There's no Lightning Storm either.
Indeed. Duelist is going to take a pick. I mean, I can't think of any card that he could draw here that would help.
Cerberus, okay.
Yeah, I mean, Cerberus can target a Rise Heart, but that's going to trigger Shangri-Ira, a Rise Heart to attach, and Duelist.
I think we're going to lose a lot of the spell and trap zones.
He's losing at least 2 more.
That's a lot of cards being banished out. That's a lot of utility, and they could have been very useful. and we're gonna hit the zone next to the one that was already locked.
It's pretty non-consequential at this point to me. I mean, even if he had every zone and a couple cards in hand, it'd be tough here for him. But
And we're going to hit another zone.
yep, since the Diabol is banished, that'll trigger Shingra Ira to lock another spell and trap card zone.
Now, one thing interesting about Jesse's extra deck is that he runs both Fossil Machine Skull Wagon and Fossil Warrior Skull Knight. And the reason why, rather than using Entis, for instance, is because Entis needs to trigger immediately, or these ones you can just hold them in the graveyard and just choose your perfect timing to just get rid of the card that you don't want to
That's
see
pretty
on the
cool.
field.
I like that. And they're also just cool-looking cards. The
Yeah.
Fossil deck's actually... Fossil Fusion is a good card. Very frustrating to play against sometimes. Like, they just keep using it every single turn.
Definitely, I haven't seen people, like, I haven't not played against it.
It's been a long time, yeah. It's a fun deck. It's not like a competitive deck.
Mm-hmm.
Now it looks like Jesse's moving to attack mode, putting his monsters in attack, going for game. David is going to take it, and that's it. Jesse Kotton is going to win top 32 match, and he's moving on to the top 16. Only going to be a few rounds left for him to maybe win a landmark event like the 250th and solidify himself as one of the greatest players we've ever seen grace the dueling stage.
Absolutely.
I mean, he won the last YCS he won was what, YCS Sydney, or was it in Sydney? I'm not sure. It was in Australia for sure. I'm not sure about the specific city, but to go all the way to Australia and win the tournament must have felt really great. And now just moments away from maybe walking away with another trophy. It's going to be really, really incredible to see if he's able to get such a monstrous feat. I know he's one of the players I picked at the beginning of the weekend to potentially win the tournament. So now that he's already this close, moments away.
I mean, both of those games, he came back from perhaps a big disadvantage that kind of locked him out, and he's moving forward.
That's right. But don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after a short break. We have something special coming up, so make sure you stick around.